on to our final segment of the History of Joy, Our Earth. This four-part series of cinematic performances and conversations were inspired by real-life stories of struggle, beauty, and triumph. We are so happy to be working with award-winning California Poet Laureate nominee Gill Sotu, who authored the series, and with the Rosin Project, a San Diego-based contemporary ballet company who have brought tremendous creativity and virtuosity to the project. In addition to our final segment of the History of Joy, tonight's event will focus on our Earth and will feature a conversation with former executive director of the La Jolla Historical Society, Heath Fox, along with curator Tatiana Sizionenko, as they share Newton Harrison's poetic meditation about the fragile ecosystem of the Mediterranean. We will also experience a funkadelic spoken word and dance piece by Diem Jones and Dr. Carol Penn, an improvised Mayan prayer to the earth by Patricia Maldonado of Improvisation Project Network, and a peek into the mind of Chef Daniela de la Puente of La Cocina Secreta, as she shares how food can nourish the soul, each other, and the earth. Finally, the Institute of Contemporary Art San Diego will present an experimental documentary by Colombian-born San Diego-based Carolina Montejo that discusses the relationships between the natural world and humans through unique aesthetic approaches. And an extra special thanks to the ICA for allowing us to use their North Campus as the set for the filming of our movie. We are tremendously grateful to you. If you are an art lover, we encourage you to explore our History of Joy art prints designed by visual artist, actor, producer, director Herbert Seguenza from Culture Clash. They are only $50 to $100 and they support our all-volunteer nonprofit, Vanguard Culture, which works to advance San Diego's creative industry workforce. We appreciate your generosity. This four-part series was inspired by the 8 pillars of joy outlined in the Book of Joy by His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu with Doug Abrams. You may have had the opportunity to experience segment 1, Social Justice, which explored the pillars of humility and perspective. Segment 2, Generations and Sacred Rituals, which explored the pillars of humor and acceptance. Or segment 3, womxn, which explored the pillars of forgiveness and gratitude. Tonight, for the final segment, Our Earth, we will explore the pillars of compassion and generosity. According to the Book of Joy, too much self-centered thinking is the source of suffering. A compassionate concern for others' well-being is the source of happiness. A compassionate concern for others is the source of happiness. So not just concern for others, but a compassionate one. Well then, what exactly is compassion? The word stems from the biblical Hebrew word rakamim. It is the root word for womb, rekem. And the Dalai Lama often says that it is from our mother's nurturing that we learn compassion. So compassion is an expansion or extension of the maternal instinct that has been pivotal to the survival of our species since the beginning of time. A mother's care literally kept the family unit alive. This, of course, is true for all species. According to the book, we fear compassion because we are afraid of experiencing the suffering, the vulnerability, and the helplessness that can come with having an open heart. Compassion is a more empowered state than empathy. So, quote, if we see a person who is being crushed by a rock, the goal is not to get under the rock and feel what they are feeling. It is to help remove the rock. According to the Dalai Lama, we must not be afraid to give and receive compassion from others and from ourselves. Compassion is one of the most difficult and courageous of all of our motivations, but it is also the most healing and elevating. For the more analytical folks in the audience, you may be encouraged to know that there is actual scientific proof that compassion is good for you. According to the Book of Joy, when we help others, we often experience a helper's high as endorphins are released in our brain, leading to a euphoric state. This hormone seems to have health benefits, including the reduction of inflammation in our cardiovascular system. So compassion literally makes our heart healthy and happy. How about you? Are you being compassionate with yourself? Are you being compassionate with others? Then there's the pillar of generosity. Some of you may know that many of the world's religions have generosity as a core pillar in their faith. This seems to express a fundamental aspect of humanity's interdependence and our need for one another. Archbishop Desmond Tutu says, when you give to others, it should be that you are subtracting from yourself. But in this incredible kind of way, when you give, it seems like, in fact, you are making space for more to be given to you. In fact, generosity is so important for our survival that the reward centers of our brain light up as strongly when we give as when we receive, sometimes even more so. So it seems that money can buy happiness if we spend it on other people. According to the Book of Joy, in Buddhist teachings, there are 3 kinds of generosity. There is material giving, the giving of freedom from fear, which can involve protection, counseling, or solace, and spiritual giving, which can involve giving your wisdom, moral and ethical teachings, and helping people to become more self-sufficient and happier. So how about you? Are you being generous with someone in need? Is someone being generous with you? Take a moment to consider how this has impacted your life. Today, we will explore our relationship with the earth through the lens of compassion and generosity. As you know, now that the final segment of this series is complete, we will be splicing all 4 segments together as a full-length feature film, and we will host a red carpet premiere in the spring of 2022. So watch your inboxes. You are all invited. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge those of you who have joined us for the whole series. Thank you. It has been the honor of my life to direct and produce this project, along with some of my favorite people whom I deeply respect and admire. Thank you for being a part of this journey through the 8 pillars of joy. On behalf of the entire Vanguard Culture team, we thank you for your continued support and for letting us dream big year after year. It is only possible because of supporters like you. So now let's get to the program. We will kick off the first half of the evening with 5 short videos by and conversations with our wonderful cultural partners in response to the theme of the night, our Earth. Then we'll premiere the 4th and final segment of our History of Joy film. Please note this event is just about 2 hours long, and once the segment has gone live, you will have access to watch it again and again, anytime. And now it is my pleasure to introduce 2 of my favorite people representing the La Jolla Historical Society today are Heath Fox and Tatiana Cizanenko. Heath Fox is an arts and culture professional and retired museum director. He is the former executive director of the La Jolla Historical Society, where he developed a trans-historical, interdisciplinary collaborative practice across arts, humanities, and science fields. He organized diverse exhibitions and educational programs that ranged cultural heritage, diversity awareness, architectural history, urbanism, and environmental issues. His career assignments include Assistant Dean of Arts and Humanities at UC San Diego and Director of Administration at the San Diego Museum of Art, the Museum of Photographic Arts. He served on the Board of Directors at the San Diego Museum Council and the Balboa Art Conservation Center, and on the Arts Commission of the City of Carlsbad. He holds an MA in Museum Studies from the University of Leicester and a BS in Business Finance from Virginia Tech. He is a graduate of executive education programs at the Getty Leadership Institute and Harvard Business School. Tatiana Cizanenko is a university professor, art historian, and curator. She received her PhD in Renaissance art history with a specialization in Venice and the Mediterranean world from the Visual Arts Department at UC San Diego. Ms. Cizanenko teaches Western art from ancient to contemporary with a strong focus on the intended function of art objects in their respective historical settings and cultural contexts. Her research and teaching has been informed by her wide-ranging curatorial practice. She has served as a curator for the University Art Gallery at UC San Diego, curatorial fellow at the Timken Museum of Art, curator of collections and special exhibitions at the Museum of Making Music in Carlsbad, and guest curator at the La Jolla Historical Society in San Diego. She received her MA in Museum Studies from JFK University in Berkeley and an MA equivalent diploma in art history from Leningrad State University in St. Petersburg, Russia. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us, Susanna.
Hi. So I'm really excited to hear about this exhibition. I know that it is, first tell us a little bit about the La Jolla Historical Society, which is putting on the exhibition. Tell us a little bit about the organization, your mission. What do we need to know?
So the La Jolla Historical Society the mission is to inspire and empower the community to make the past a relevant part of contemporary life, and to serve as a resource and a gathering place to explore history, art, ideas, and culture. Mm. And the Historical Society is organizing a project for 2024, an exhibition as part of the Getty Foundation's Pacific Standard Time Art and Science project. And this will be a multi-venue exhibition presented at the La Jolla Historical Society, the San Diego Public Library downtown, the California Center for the Arts Escondido, and the Mandeville Art Gallery on the campus of UC San Diego. And the exhibition is entitled Helen and Newton Harrison, California Work, and it explores the juncture of art and science, art and ecology, and art and social activism that was the practice of the Harrisons. And by focusing for the first time on their California works, artistic projects that they produced between the 1960s and the 2000s. So for a long period of time, the exhibition will highlight the Harrisons' extraordinary art and science collaboration.
Beautiful. The La Jolla Historical Society works a lot with art and science, right? I mean, this is something that you've tended to do. Is that something that you've always gravitated toward, or is it the mission of the organization that kind of propels that?
Well, it's in keeping with the philosophy of relating issues to contemporary life. So it's very much part of the dialogue in the community and in society today. And you're right. We've done. Tatiana has organized a previous exhibition called Weather on Steroids: The Art of Climate Change Science. The current exhibition at the Historical Society is Trifecta Art Science Patron, where contemporary artists worked with research scientists at the Salk Institute for Biological Studies. So it's been an ongoing part of the practice. And as you know, I'm retired now, but the new executive director at the La Jolla Historical Society, Lauren Lockhart, is very much of the same mind in terms of issues related to contemporary society.
Yeah. Tatiana, tell us a little bit about the video that we're going to watch today. What do we need to know about it?
Well, first of all, we probably should speak a little bit about the artists themselves.
Please.
Yeah, so who are the artists that we are highlighting? So Helen and Newton Harrison, they are husband and wife team that have collaborated for over 50 years on issues of ecological art. They are ecological art pioneers. They have started their practice of art and ecology in the late 1960s. And in fact, the beginning of practice of art and ecology coincided with the first celebration of the Earth Day in 1988. Yeah, so, and in fact, the practice began. They are truly pioneers of ecological art. You cannot name another artist who dedicated their entire body of work to the issues of ecology. And so it meaning that when they embark on their journey, they said that they're not going to do anything that would not benefit the earth, the ecosystems. And so that started in the 1960s and it continues today. Helen sadly passed away in 2018. And Newton continued on his own. And Newton began artistic practice as a painter. And so it actually started in 1950s. And so he was hired to come to UCSD as a founding member of the visual arts department as a painter. And he completely turned away from his successful career of painting. He was trained in painting at the Yale University. He produced hard-edged paintings that were exhibited in big venues throughout the United States. And then he completely forgone this kind of subject of his art and initiated a new body of work with Helen that was not painting, but included multidisciplinary engagement with photography, with the spoken word, and with science. And so this piece has a genesis. So this piece was created by Newton Harrison in 2000 after Helen's death by himself as a piece for Venice Biennale to be shown there, Apologia Mediterranea. And it is a visual and spoken word piece. And the original concern for the climate change and for the ocean surfaced in their work in the 1970s when they were working on a project, San Diego as a center of the world, and where they came across and raised the issue that there will be global warming, the CO2 levels will rise, and most likely will experience drastic ecological changes. And in 1974, they participated in the first Biennale piece, which is called The Law of the Sea Conference. And it has a subtitle where the appetite is discovered to be endless. And it means the way how political systems don't pay attention to ecology. So the political system emphasize greed and taking away from ecology. And so Apologia Mediterranea is essentially follows on those issues that were central to their works throughout their career and bring new awareness to the conditions of the ocean and conditions of the Mediterranean Sea.
So let's watch the video and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about it, okay? All right.
Apologia Mediterraneo. Mediterranean, Mediterranean, you're getting more salty. And Mediterranean, overfishing is rife. Mediterranean, Mediterranean, the poisoned waters run deep. Mediterranean, Mediterranean, new waters will come in through the straits. At least a 3-meter rise will reduce lands available, increasing and transforming waters available. For these many reasons, and many more, Mediterranean, we owe you a new ecosystem. Mediterranean, Mediterranean, we can and must pay this debt. And Mediterranean, we're grateful for the invitation to work with you. Yet, our behavior toward you is bad and getting worse, with 136 pleasure ships dumping 250 million gallons of fecal waste into your waters every year, and the surrounding cities, many still lacking wastewater treatments, dumping another 6.5 million pounds of shit waste into your waters each day. And then there are the oil tankers, taking 9,000 trips back and forth across your surface, deliberately dumping 40 million gallons of oil into your waters year after year in tank washing operations along the way. Mediterranean, Mediterranean, we have, unfortunately, painfully, even moronically, set up the conditions for the death of the ocean that is you. Mediterranean, Mediterranean, your salinity is increasing, and the temperatures around you are rising. And already in the now, the temperatures that surround you are 1.4 degrees centigrade higher than before. And this continues at a much faster rate than the rest of the world. Already in the now, your total fish population has dropped 65%, and the drop is likely to continue. Already in the now, 536 million people crowd your shores, living in cities, towns, farms, each asking for more from you than they give back. And even more of you is asked from the 600 million tourists that come to your shores every year. I imagine what they will find if this poisoning continues, and we see that the true cost of letting you die is still greater and greater. Mediterranean, Mediterranean, by virtue of our bad behavior, we must choose to preside over your funeral or your rebirth. Ah, Mediterranean, it will take trillions of dollars to move upward all the industry on your shores. As the waters rise 3 to 5 meters, so very likely in the next 100 years. Yet, on the other hand, we may refuse to spend these monies and then watch as all the poisons that are in all the petrochemical plants and their subsidiaries that exist near your edge in France, in Italy, in Greece, and many other countries allow millions of tons of pollution to enter your water already so deeply distressed. Mediterranean, Mediterranean, I can feel the heat. I can smell the fish dying. Mediterranean, I am so sorry it has come to this. Mediterranean, the matter at hand is whether we will put aside the resources to save you or spend the same amount setting up the situation and then permitting your death. Ah, Mediterranean, you can see from all these numbers how much all of us have hurt all of you. Yes, I am so sad that it has come to this. Even to ask forgiveness facing a death of this magnitude seems fatuous. Truly, Mediterranean, I'm so sorry it has come to this. Mediterranean, the best thing I can think of is to stop the giant pleasure ships from dumping their waste again and again, and to stop the pollution coming from the cities, and to slow fishing until stocks revive, and to begin a search for aquatic species that can live in more than usual saline waters. Mediterranean, they exist, and we can find them. Mediterranean, on your southern side, the Great Sahara touches your shores for 1,500 miles. I see the Sahara jumping over your waters as 74 million acres of land in Italy, Spain, and the French Riviera, along with many more, slowly become deserts. And Mediterranean, Mediterranean, even in the unlikely event that we keep our Paris climate agreements, we are told the countries around you will become deserts anyway, shadows of the great empires they once were, when forests of cypress grew in the time of Gilgamesh and before. Yet we see a strange hope visible on the horizon, the far horizon, several thousand miles away at the southern border of the Sahara, where a great band of green is being planted along 8,000 miles, a mosaic of indigenous farming sites, and many, many trees entangled. We argue for an echo in the northern Sahara near your water's edge, and we call this echo the Children of the Nile, a parallel thread of oases with farming radiating out from their centers, informed and created by the Bedouin people who know so much about how to tend the waters in this most desolate of landscapes. So we think to value the knowledge of the Bedouin accumulated since Neolithic times and before to create this Children of the Nile work and to slowly bring life to where there was once none. How to do such an impossible thing, you may ask? Why, by reading the landscape and diverting a fraction of the 2.5 million acre-feet of water that is now taken from the Nile River and used in an Egyptian industrial farming site that is 430,000 acres in size, to seed a string of oases along your southern coast. We call on this as an ancient practice and as an attractive force for waters, creating self-regenerative cycles and synergy of organisms, beginning with the seed of a date palm and becoming more with layers of fruit trees and nuts and cereals beneath. And as the oases grow, they generate their own water and need to take no more from the Nile. But the will to do this. It does not yet look strong, the will to do this. So finally, I fear that I must sit on your shores and watch you die. How sad, how unnecessary, how stupid are the greedy people who have the power to insist on this by holding back resources that would reverse the slow dying of you. Mediterranean. Particularly sad is that the gross transnational product of the globe, which is some $71 trillion, some of these monies should literally be ripped from the hands that hold it and spent on your behalf. So Mediterranean, what do you advise that would let you continue to live in concert with ourselves? And the voice came back into my head with force, saying, human, the 21 countries that touch me have a $9 trillion a year gross national product. 5% a year of this, put on the table for as many years as it would take, would untangle the destroying of me by the many. And human, at least $1 trillion would be necessary to remove the industry touching my water's edge, so that when the oceans rise, I will not be further poisoned. And human, leaving oil on my surface needs to be criminalized. And human, fishing must be ceased until the larger fish beings in my community return and adapt to the salt and thrive. And human, the heavy metals that poison my bottom mud must cease. Then the untangling will have begun. If not, as you know, I will die. But I know my history, and over the millennia, I will return. But you, human, you, in all your billions, will probably die, and certainly not return as you are.
Thank you. Wow. That was really powerful, obviously. I'd love to hear your first impressions when you first watched this.
Well, when I first watched it, and it's obviously written by Newton and his sciences work as a poet, and poetry has been very central to Helen's and Newton's work. And with the medium of poetry, they were able to convey so deep convictions they have about ecology and about relationship between humans and ecology. And so he is saying that we need to change our behavior. If we don't change, the oceans will die, the land will turn into desert, we will die. Mm-hmm. So, and he's saying it's not just simply saying that there is no way out, but in fact is an invitation to change our behavior, to be more generous about the ocean. And so my first impression is that it's very sad, and at the same time there is no time to waste, that we need to act upon what he's saying, or what we see around us, around what happens to the earth. And so this invitation to act, I think, is that something that moves me in my project, in designing this exhibition, thinking about it, because the heart of it is not just about the beautiful art that we will put on the walls, but the art, at the heart of it is the way how we can change something around us. Inspirations that we see is a central part of Helen's and Newton's work.
Yeah, I love one of the statements that hit home for me was, we will either preside over your funeral or over your rebirth. And I love that he offered the hope that there is still a chance to preside over the rebirth of this part of the earth, but of the entire earth in general. What about you, Heath?
In all the conversations about the environmental crisis and the crisis of biodiversity, you hear numbers and facts and statistics quoted. And Newton did the same thing in a very powerful way because it was woven in with the poetry. And in doing so, that allows us, it gives us an emotional reaction to it. It humanizes it in a way that without that poetry would not be possible. And that poetry, as Tatiana has said, that's been part of the Harrisons' lifelong artistic practice. The other thing that struck me is you get a sense from Newton's performance of the range of the problems facing the Mediterranean Sea. And in a way, it's a microcosm of the entire planet and the existential threat posed by climate change and the biodiversity crisis. You know, when you consider that the Mediterranean basin is less than 1% of the entire surface area of the oceans on the planet, and you scale those problems up that Newton expressed, then you can start to get a sense of the overwhelming enormity of the challenges that we face.
Yeah, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, thinking, well, I'm just one person, I'm just an individual, and what are you armed with, right? Like, how can you attack such a problem? I think exhibitions like this, how artists respond to the climate issues in the earth, but it takes intentionality. It's actually like caring and being intentional about your actions as individuals, as a collective, as a community, as humanity. This type of work helps us to see things in a broader perspective. As we're talking about generosity and compassion, this seems to really showcase our lack of generosity and compassion for the earth. Has anything surprised you in this process?
Yeah, it's what is amazing about their work, Helen's and Newton's commitment to this same topic of changing or improving our relationship with the earth and our relationship with nature, or our understanding of nature. And they approach this from different angles. They have done science. So one of the longest works they have done, Lagoon Cycle, took over 7 years, where they have daily experimented with growing crops in ponds in the artist studio at UCSD. And so their commitment to use science and also contribute to science, and then condense science to the facts that could be understood as simple person, so that the simple person could be inspired to make certain decisions that change their perspectives. And so this call to action, it's absolutely one of the important part of their work, and also offering some solutions. Like in the Apologia Mediterranea, he talks about, well, if we spend just 5% of our gross income and reinvest it in the ocean, or we can reinvest it into rehabilitation of rivers, like we have San Diego River in San Diego, like one of the constant problems, very similar ones, pollution. So if we reinvest, if we make new law that we cannot take more than we give back, that we need to give back to the ecology, this is an underlying single viewpoint that has been communicated throughout many works that they have produced over the 50 years practice.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I'm reading a book right now that talks about, the Native American practice of what you just said, never taking more, right? Always leaving enough so that it will regenerate and regrow and continue to flourish. And it's a philosophy that we tend to not do. We just take it all. As humans, humanity tends to do that. And so it's just taking a look at things in a very different way about ensuring its continued health and well-being of the earth and our rivers and our plant life and, all of that. Any other takeaways that we should think about before 2024 exhibition comes around? Anything we should be paying attention to?
Well, I'd like to follow up your comments and just say that, I think what we saw from Newton's presentation can help all of us in our compassion for the earth and these environmental issues. It's about each other as well. And more importantly, it's about future generations and having compassion for all these things and understanding that we need to be generous to ourselves in the way we live our lives so that it's environmentally friendly. And these are global problems that require global solutions. So governments have to take the lead in this, but businesses, civil society organizations, and all of us individually have a role to play in the way we are generous in living our lives that in ways that are environmentally friendly and thinking about each other and the future generations to come. The drive to decarbonize is the story of the human condition in the 21st century. And the messages from the Harrisons in their lifelong artistic practice with regards to environmental problems and solutions have never been more important than they are today.
Definitely.
I like also to add that one of the important angles that they take in their work is that they speak from the voice of nature. They, like in the Apologia Mediterranea here, essentially brings the voice of the ocean or here. And many other works, they always imagine that nature speaks to us and what it wants to say. And this is a rare kind of message because we tend to think only from human perspective, how nature can serve us. And I think one of the biggest takeaway that if we can imagine that nature has a voice and can speak back, so what this dialogue could look like if we can reimagine our lives in that way, that we imagine environment as a partner rather than the sole kind of source of abundance to serve our needs. So if we can have that dialogue more enacted in our lives in the way how we live everyday life, I think that's the biggest takeaway from Helen's and Newton's artistic practice that we like to highlight in 2024 exhibition.
Beautiful. Thank you both so much. This has been a beautiful conversation, very enlightening. I really appreciate your commitment to art and science and bringing that forward, both of you. We're so excited to see the exhibition 2024 Pacific Standard Time, organized by the Getty. Please, we will share all the information on how to visit that exhibition in the chat. We'll share that with everyone. Thank you so much, Heatbox, Tatiana Sizanenko. It's an honor to know you, and we're so pleased to get to share this with our audience today. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye, Anna.
Well, as we move through these conversations, I encourage you to think about your own personal connection to the earth. How do the earth's resources sustain you? Is the earth being generous to you? Are you being generous to the earth? Think about the trees that were cut down for the paper towels in your kitchen. Think about the algae collected to make your toothpaste, the source of the water coming from your faucet, the glass that was once just sand moving back and forth on the beach. When you think about the thread of life in everything, it becomes easier to take a step further and think about how we can honor that reciprocity. Our next video comes in the form of an art shop talk with Patricia Maldonado from the Improvisation Project Network. Patricia Maldonado is an independent interpretive dance professional with extensive experience in dance, choreography, and performance administration from her native country of Guatemala. She was part of the National Guatemalan Modern and Folk Dance Company, traveling internationally to the US, Europe, and South America. She has been a member of the Conseil International de la Danse, CID, since 2015. In association with UNESCO, the CID World Congress has been the biggest gathering for all forms of dance for over 30 years. Since her arrival to this country, she has researched, choreographed, and directed dozens of original works. Patricia earned her BA in dance from the University of California, Riverside, and an MA in performance studies from New York University. She has a passion for community development, cross-cultural promotion of the arts, and being a community organizer. Patricia has performed and emceed for the World Heritage Cultural Center at San Diego Convention Center and has taught improvisational movement at the Teatro de Bellas Artes de Guatemala, among others. Recently, she was the Arts Advisory Committee Chair for the Centro Cultural de la Raza, organizing community events, as well as board member for the Balboa Park Cultural Partnership. Patricia is also a dedicated visual artist and photographer. We hope you enjoy what she created for us today.
I'll tell you when to go. Not quite yet. Okay. I hope the sound of the paper. You're good. We'll try. Okay. Whenever you're ready. ¿Por qué bailo? Porque la danza es un medio de donde sin pensar he basado mi existencia. I have been dancing around 40 years. And in those years, I have been experiencing different types of movement that are called dance, such as starting with modern dance, that is my base, and folk from Guatemala, jazz, modern jazz, and I did a little bit of musical theater and pop dance rhythms. It's hard for me to speak about time, because to tell you the truth, as everybody in dance will tell you, I started when I was a baby. Yeah, and I think those are natural movements for every child. We are born with dance, and with years we stop. So some of us keep going, and some of us stop. I will say that my style evolved and inspired by a kind of catharsis, and helping me to get a new system of lifestyles, beliefs, and self-discover. All these changes that has been part of the evolving my style has been mostly kind of, I won't say kind of push, developing as I was an immigrant in this country. That was the moment where the change of all those technical movements and stage-wise got into an evolving point, because it was kind of a pause where I have to see that everything was changing. Everything, the stage, this language, the system, how I interact with people. So everything became everything, everything that I have to absorb. But I didn't want to give up dancing. And I say, well, how can I survive in this new stage of real life and doing what I love to do? So I had the opportunity to create something through improvisation with my daughter. But in the meantime, it was influenced by different elements of that time. Then and I was using the technique, but it was a different meaning. It was like letting go. That I was in this stage of life where I have to make a choice of letting go what I knew, and I was open to the possibilities of something that I didn't know what it was going to be. I am from Guatemala City, and I grew up with elements of the Mayan culture. I found general elements such as the connection they have with rituals and the human responsibility they have as a race. If you go to Tikal, you will feel the wisdom and the survival of the truth as you can touch the place where they existed. While I was there, I imagined the rituals at the Grand Jaguar Pyramid, and you can feel their social structure and mostly the important element connected with the self. What inspired me to create the Improvisation Project Network was after experiencing to be an immigrant and improvising as a way to stay close to my previous life. There is a book called The Popol Book. It's kind of the mythology of the creation of this earth. And what I got the most is the connection that they used to have with the inner world, and knowing about their way of living, how they used to walk in those pyramids, how they used to honor the universe, the study of the stars, the protection of the animals. That it gives me a lot of respect for my culture, and also influence what I do as an everyday. So part of my improvisation has been the freedom of exploring those elements that are inside myself, connecting with everywhere I am, because the earth is everywhere. So those elements, I carry them and I practice them any place where I am. To move your body regularly is very important as a consciousness of having a body. When you move it, you automatically are aware that you are inside the body. Passive, stationary displacement of the body. That is very easy that your mind gets in control, because it can go and fly. The mind cannot be worried about that you are going to fall. So it's easy for the mind to go. But if you are moving, you have to control. Even when you walk, you are putting an effort to move it from one place to another one. That is giving you consciousness that you are living the present. When we connect ourselves with the earth, we are in communion with her. if we are aware that we are walking in this planet in connection with that energy, and that energy is going through us, we are going to be in touch with others, and we are going to be inspired to do something that is positive for everybody.
Our next video is brought to you by the very talented multi-hyphenate creative team of Diem Jones and Dr. Carol Penn. Diem Jones is a thought leader, poet, musician, multidisciplinary producer, and program designer. He is co-founder and past executive director of Voices of Our Nation's Arts Foundation, VONA, and currently CEO of All One Consulting. He has served as Deputy Director of Arts Council Silicon Valley, Program Officer at the DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities, as well as Director of Grants at the Houston Arts Alliance and Administrative Director of East Bay Center for the Performing Arts. Mr. Jones was Art Director for George Clinton and the Parliament Funkadelic. Additionally, he has managed health and wellness practices in California, New Jersey, and Philadelphia. Mr. Jones has also completed advanced courses in mind-body medicine protocols from the Center for Mind-Body Medicine in Washington, D.C. His most recent book, A Big Day, Following the Soul, was published in the summer of 2018. Diem's most recent musical spoken word CD, A Spirit of We, and his previous CDs, Equanimity and Blackfish Jazz, have been performed with the Equanimity Band at venues throughout the U.S., including the San Jose Jazz Festival. In addition, his photo biography of George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic, Number 1 Bimini Road, continues to be a bestseller in the ever-expanding fan base of the group. Dr. Carol Penn has more than 40 years of experience and expertise in mind-body medicine. Gifted with the ability to inspire and educate about self-care, Dr. Penn brings a unique set of skills to her work as a physician. Her work in mindful movement and the dynamic small group facilitation work in the Mind, Body, Spirit Medicine series is designed to assist each participant in their journey of deep self-care and in learning how to prioritize themselves on behalf of achieving their best and highest self. She also brings her artistic sensibilities to the marriage of arts and medicine with her background as a professionally trained dancer and choreographer with the world-famous Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater and the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts Teaching Fellow. She is the host of the radio show Meditation in the Time of Madness. Please enjoy this beautiful spoken word and dance performance by Diem Jones and Dr. Carol Penn.
Are we going to televise the revolution or smellivize the revolution? Yes, the revolution of joy. Joy can't be lost, but joy can be overlooked. Joy can be forgotten if we forget ourselves. But it's the joy for me that's the goal of, or the outcome of every action that I partake. I remember singing or humming Joy to the World. That stuck with me. But aren't we all worldly beings? Joy to ourselves. Can't we find joy within ourselves? What's all the fuss about the lack of joy? Because whatever we're lacking, we still have some of, or we wouldn't know that we were lacking, right? So I'm just grateful, joyful, and glad to share this time with us. Thank you for the opportunity of blowing with our wind. so we can go within for a deeper dive to the root of joy, to the root of love, to the root of God within. Yeah. This is a story of a famous god. For the god that chases its tail will be dizzy. There's a clapping god, a rhythmic god, a hominy grits god, a house god, a street god. Gods of the universe, unite. Dance god. Yeah, accountant god. A funky god, a nasty god, an atomic god, a sub-atomic god. Life on all fours when you're out there dancing the street may compete, but it's nothing but a god in you. Bow wow wow yippee yo yippee yay, bow wow yippee yo yippee yay hey. Bow wow. Yippee yo yay hey. Say what? Life on all fours. An untied god in a telemetric, telephonic, osteo-sophisticated society. When you're out there walking the streets, ain't your average huckleberry sound. We may compete, but it's nothing but the God in you. Why must I feel like that? Why must I chase the light? Darn the gods and we. Life on all fours when you're out there walking the streets may compete, but it's nothing but the God in you. Why must I feel like that? Why must I chase the light? It's nothing but the God in me. Why must I feel like that? Why must I chase the light? Nothing but the God in me. Nothing but the God in we. Do you chase the light? Do a God catch you, a God lighter, a God go get you. A God get you, a God lighter, God go get you. Go, God get you, get you, get you, get you, got you. Go, got you, get you, got you, go. Good God Almighty. Do the God get you, baby. Do the God lighter. Oh, baby, get lit. The other side of Venus, walking with my dog, walking in my God studio. Today, tomorrow, the other side of Venus. Walking with my dog, walking with my God. Must I follow or should I lead? Must I follow or should I lead? Lead me to death, bleed me to life, seed me to live. I needs to see tomorrow from my heart to yours. Am I rowing my shore up to Lord? Oh. Am I rowing my ship to shore? Lead, follow, should I must? Oh, I really chased the bullet studio today. Tomorrow. The other side of Venus, walking my dog, walking with my God. Studio today. The other side of Venus, walking with my dog. Walking with my God. Subatomic, below the skin all the way in. Subatomic God. Let's be deep diving before the nose gets nosy on you. Y'all knows this. Of all the Machiavellian times to wake up. Then again, since fantasy is reality and everyone's right, am I awake? Am I asleep? Am I woke? Or have I been wrong all the time and I shouldn't have had anything to smoke? But I do think I know what time it is. At least I know my time is now. My time is now to speak. My time is now to listen. My time is now to see. My time is now to swim. My time is now to fly. The moon is full, and I'm not pulling the trigger because we've had too much gunfire. Too many triggers pulled, too many triggers pushed, too many lids lifted, too many waves unleashed. And whether it's the waves from Mother Earth or the waves from the cauldrons of evil that are just gushing out on all of our streets. Let's call this a mashup. Mashing up. Yeah. But it's the other side of the mashup that I'm really looking forward to. Because right now, in the midst of it, it's like walking up a hill, like taking on your biggest challenge. You look up, you look up, you look up in the sky. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a... You keep looking up, you might fall backwards. Somehow or another, we need to get a little balance in here. But when you're coming on the other side, after you've gone through looking up, it's in the rearview mirror. It shrinks. By the nanosecond, it shrinks. Gets smaller and smaller. Subatomic, atomic. These molecules turn into mere particles. Because we break it all down, we know what it is. We won't know anything because we don't know what we want to be. So I think we're supposed to be something, right? But all planes have wings. And let's lift every voice and allow them to sing. Let the spirit rise, minds be wise. Let's look at this mashup again and stir the pot in the other way. Let's even out these flames. Let's even out these waves. Let's find a base for the mashup. A lot of times when we look up, we look out, but we forget to look in. We do look around, maybe, but often we don't see. Because do you see or are you being seen? Sly said somebody's watching you. You better believe it. Big Brother's great, 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 well, we won't even go there. But what are you seeing? Are you seeing what's on the surface or are you actually looking within? Because if I take care of me, then that's the first step in taking care of we, of all the Machiavellian times to wake up. Let's mash it up. See ya!
Our next video comes from the executive chef of La Cocina Secreta, Chef Daniela de la Puente. Daniela de la Puente is a chef, sommelier, visual artist, photographer, and writer. Born in Mexico City and residing in Tijuana since 1988, Daniela studied graphic design and with her grandmother as her greatest inspiration in the kitchen, developed a deep passion for food that inspired her culinary journey. She studied at the Culinary Arts School, where she also got her sommelier degree. Her latest projects, La Cocina Secreta and La Cocina Secreta Sensorial, invite guests to a clandestine kitchen in Tijuana that combines the artistry of experiential art design and haute cuisine in a secret location. This exclusive experience is tailored to the customer's tastes and wishes using the freshest local ingredients. In 2012, De La Puente won first place in the Rumbos de la Cocina de Baja California at the Baja California Culinary Fest. In 2016, she was invited to participate in El Sabor de las Mujeres in Baja, where she was recognized for her career achievements and named one of Baja California's top female chefs. In 2018, she received the first place People's Choice Award in the Sabor Latino at 25th Annual San Diego Latino Film Festival. She is currently lending her talents as a faculty member of the Ibero-American University Tijuana campus, where she teaches gastronomic photography, enology, and designing with gastronomy in architecture. As a visual artist, De La Puente has participated in over 16 solo shows and over 300 group shows in over 12 cities of Mexico, United States, Argentina, Spain, and Italy. Please enjoy.
I've been an artist my whole life. My mom tells me the story of when I was little, how I always prefer art supplies instead of toys. So when I discovered my passion for cooking, it just made sense to make the perfect pairing between art, creativity, flavors, and food. It just clicked. I love to create a dish inspired in what my guests are celebrating in their story or the occasion that I'm cooking for. To get inspired in a feeling in the colors of nature in my surroundings. Or sometimes just walk around a museum or a gallery, look at a work of art, and make a visual pairing between the piece and my dish. I have the perfect canvas and a plate, the most amazing art supplies and local ingredients, and nature's unique flavors. The inspiration is all around. So it just comes natural to create. But it's not just about taking, it's about sharing it. It's about giving back. How do we give back? We have to be aware and conscious of the footprint that we are leaving in the world, in the earth, in the people, in our community. For me, it's important to reduce carbon emissions buying local ingredients, to nourish my community supporting small and local businesses, to leave a less damaging footprint, and to create as much art as I can and share it. Because we live in a beautiful world that gives us everything, and it is our responsibility to leave it more beautiful than we found it. Seek and admire the beauty that surrounds us. Be respectful and grateful, because every choice we make will impact the earth, our bodies, our souls. For me, cooking is not just about eating or feeding someone. It's about putting all my energy, my passion, my soul in every dish. My journey as a chef and visual artist has allowed me to learn from the earth, to feel and respect the ingredients she gives us, to choose wisely and play with the flavors like an alchemist, to see the magic come to life when you combine them in a dish, and share my creations. We live in a fast-paced world. We are all running all the time. Sometimes it seems that we don't have time to just stop and breathe. This is why I love to see people enjoy, create an intimate moment around the table, and entice a sense of complicity. Connect people through food, through experiences. Help them connect with themselves, with their senses. Connect with other people. Connect with the earth. Just pause for a minute. Because if I can just reach or touch someone through my food, for me that's joy. Because it is in giving that we receive.
Our final video is an experimental documentary by Colombian-born San Diego-based Carolina Montejo, presented by the Institute of Contemporary Art, San Diego. Carolina Montejo is a Colombian-American artist and filmmaker based in Southern California. She has a BA in Communications from Universidad Javeriana in Bogotá, Colombia, and an MFA in Visual Arts from UC San Diego. Using film and video, performance, and installation, her works are concerned with feminist, eco-pluralistic thought, as well as a human and more than human embodiment and intersubjectivity. Additionally, Montejo's work outlines a framework of ethics, beauty, and revolution that seeks to disrupt and question diverse systems of oppression while also engaging with the aesthetic overlaps of analog and digital imagery, as well as sound and body-based art. Her academic research focuses on ecofeminism, intersectional climate justice, eco-cinema, and urban ecology. She is a member of Green New Deal at UCSD and is currently transitioning from a teaching assistant position in the writing department at Thurgood Marshall College to a climate researcher and documentary filmmaker for Aaron Lab of Cognitive Science and Climate at UCSD. Please enjoy.
Some years ago, I got very sick, and after a full year of going from doctor to doctor and being told that I was just making it up and I was just calling for attention, they found a fungi growing on my lung, and I was so sure that I was gonna die. I couldn't breathe. It hurt to breathe so much. And when the treatment started to clear out my lung, I suddenly became aware of how the fungi on my lung was affecting the person that I am. When I started taking the medication, I suddenly became terrified of light and hypersensitive to patterns. And when I would talk to my doctor, he was like, oh yeah, it's just part of the process to kill fungi is to make your body not a acceptable space for that. And fungi make you think like one, be like one. So you tend to eat more sugars when you're growing a fungi inside you, or hide from light, or crave more like humid environments, because it's affecting all your being. And it just made me think, like truly understand how we're all very complicated and deeply entwined with each other. From fungi to plants to animals, there's just this really complex ecosystem that we live in. And I became, once I was able to breathe again, I feel such a solidarity towards plants and finding that state of homeostasis, like balance. And like since then, I feel much more connected to the idea of community and just a wish for living and growing in so many ways, like fungi showed me by almost killing me.
Well, that is the end of the first half of our evening. We hope you enjoyed it. And now, with no further ado, it is with great pleasure that I invite you to sit back and enjoy the premiere of our feature film, Part 4 of The History of Joy, Our Earth.
Often, a problem seems so big, feels like it's gonna swallow you right up. How can you clean up the ocean when metaphorically, you are only armed with your charm and a small cup? Sometimes you don't need a large amount of assets or an army to make a difference. Sometimes you just need raw determination and a worthwhile mission. You just need the right combination of compassion and motivation, a strong cocktail of generosity and inspiration. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, and all the beautiful expressions that Mother Earth has given us, you just need to really look at people. Look out into nature. Imagine how wonderful this earth can be, and actually, just give a shit.
Okay, kids, here we go. Dinner. There you go. Mac and cheese, chicken nuggets. Oh, Missy, what are you doing with that mac and cheese? Why are you stabbing your mac and cheese? Oh, no, we are not rich enough to be wasting all that food. Scoop it. No, scoop it. Scoop. No, with your fork. With your fork. Take it off the table and in your mouth. In your mouth. That's good. Yeah, some more. Get it in your mouth. Come on. In your, that's your nose. Get it in your mouth, honey. Oh, look at all this waste. Okay, yeah, just eat it. I hope this table's clean. Your mom's gonna kill me if you get food poisoning from eating off the dirty table. Oh, in your mouth, kid, not your nose. Get it in your mouth. It's dripping down your cheek. And you, Supergirl, throw that in the recycling. No, the other one. We recycle those so other people can use it again. No, I don't know them. I I don't know why not. We don't know who gets the recycling. They are strangers. Oh, no, I'm sure they are good strangers. All right. If you finish your food and put on your PJs, anyone who gets our recycling can come to your birthday party. Okay, that's all. Spit, come on, spit. Spit. Okay, come on, spit, come on. Oh my gosh, look at you. Look at you. Oh no, I got it in your hair. Oh. Okay, yeah, wipe your mouth. Come on. There we go. All right, out, both of you. Yeah, out. That's it. That's enough wasting water. That's enough wasting water. Out, both of you. Careful, Missy. No, just leave it. Oh. Oh, shoot. Listen, I'm about to pass out, and I suspect that both of you snuck a gulp of Grandpa's coffee when I wasn't looking. So I'll make you a deal. How about I tell you a better Three Pigs story about what happened after the pigs stopped the wolf? Would you like to hear that?
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
All right. And in exchange, you both go right back to bed. And when your mom gets back, we won't tell her about the small fire or what happened to her paintings. Grandpa's gonna get everything fixed. Deal?
Deal.
All right, so most of the storybooks stop right after the great wolf trickery. Pigs stop the wolf, happy after that, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. There was no happily ever after. Far from it. Those adorable pigs, although they were family and loved each other, could not stand to be around one another for long periods of time. That's why they lived in 3 different houses in the first place. 3 completely different ways of living. So they first decided to stay in separate parts of the small brick house. That didn't help very much because they still had to share the same facilities, look at each other, smell each other, and no pig really enjoys smelling another pig. None of them, for fear of the wolf's return, dared to venture outside for longer than absolutely needed. So with the help of other pigs in the forest, they formed the clans of lead, plastic, and brick, and created a massive structure and indoor town that they called Luxuriance. The township spread throughout the forest, extending east, west, and south. Each clan steadfast in its belief of superiority over the other 2. The once close brother pigs sat on their prospective thrones as makeshift kings, ruling over their families and clans, until one day.
Tobias, I've told you 100 times. Knock normal.
Sorry, Grandpa Bowman. I mean, your High Kingship. I mean, the prisoner you asked for.
Right. Well, don't just stand there like a brick boy. Take a seat. A young fool like all the rest of your clan. I offer rest. You opt for discomfort, purely out of pig-headedness. No one ever chooses the smart thing. Fine. Stand all day for all I care. Do you know why I brought you here?
Because you know the House of Lead will be conquering brick soon enough, and you want to use me as an example.
Think so, huh?
Know it.
Why? Why is it so important for my brothers to have all of the township, huh? Is that one more piece of land, pound of gold, that next thingamajig going to miraculously bring them lasting joy, huh? Gonna make them not greedy, overfed, undereducated nincompoops, huh? Right. So you are a spy then, an assassin? No, you are much too dumb for that. My men caught you and your female friend trespassing almost immediately. No one told you we have clan-wide rotating passwords we use to greet each other, did they? Some spy you are. So why did you risk your lives to live in this township? Lift your sleeve. You'd rather the gallows than a little show and tell, boy? Just as I suspected, both you and the girl you were with have the markings of royalty, only not from the same clans. Ooh, naughty, naughty. You messed around and fell in love with the enemy, and you decided to hide out here? Young, dumb, and in love. That's more dangerous than a pack of wolves. You know what type of trouble you two are going to cause if my brothers found out you were here? Like I don't have enough problems already. I'm sending you both back before you destroy the fragile piece we're holding on to now. Guard!
Your Majesty, I beg of you. It is said that you are the smartest of all the pigs, the original brick mason that stopped the wolf invasion. They say that you show compassion to those who seek refuge here.
Not to those of the royal line. It is part of the treaty between clans, Section 7, Article 45. If only your brains were as swift as your ability to kiss up. And what do you know of compassion? You, like all the rest of the pigs in this township, just want what I have, simply because it's here. You bore me. Guard!
King, it is not for me. Kill me. Send me back. I don't care, but Naomi, sir, please let her stay. Queen Penelope will execute her in the town square if she's brought back. She's done a lot worse for less. You say I do not know compassion? Show me then. Allow me to learn by your example.
Calloused hands, frayed tail, broad shoulders. You smell of dandelions and campfire. You've been beyond the walls to the south. Hunter?
The best in all the House of Lead. I can track and kill any animal you need, King.
That's the problem with both houses of lead and plastic. You all assume all problems can be solved by killing or building excessively. Information, son. That's what I need you to hunt for. The most precious resource a kingdom, clan, or pig can obtain.
Whatever you need, King, I can do.
Don't let your youth talk you into something your skills can't handle. It will be dangerous. It is more than likely you will not return. But one less mouth to feed is always more efficient. If you do this, and are able to report back to me without being seen by the rest of the clans, your Naomi may stay here in the House of Brick. To the south, at your clan's walls, I hear reports of the structure slowly sinking and water rising. True?
Yes. There is a rumor that the wolves come out at night and dig at our ground around the foundation.
So that they can better climb your walls. Yes, I've heard that too. And what is the word of the wolves' activities to the east?
Naomi told me that the fishing is all but gone from the lakes and rivers.
They suspect the wolves are killing the sea life to starve us out. And here in the west, temperatures rise to unbearable degrees. My advisors fear the wolves are tearing out the very trees that shade us to make rams to breach our gates.
So, you want me to hunt wolves? All by myself?
Poor child. Clearly it was your muscles Naomi fell in love with. Information, son. Information. That's what I need. Speak to the animals beyond the walls of our township. They will know for sure what the wolves are up to.
But we hunt most of those animals. They would sooner kill us than speak.
Remember the not easy part? How much do you love Naomi? Let us hope it is a lot. Because if you do not get me what I need, you will witness the opposite of my great compassion. Guard!
After a long, strenuous trek, Sebastian found his way beyond the wall into the eastern region of the forest. As soon as he got within a couple of miles from Lake Penelope, a rotting smell hit him like he'd never experienced before. As he got closer to investigate, he spots a ginormous bear pacing about, looking like it's ready to kill anything that steps near. He knew he'd have to take the monstrosity out to get to the lake or fail the mission before it even starts. Using the bush for cover, Sebastian got within striking distance when he heard the bear crying, no, wailing. A wail so piercing and full of absolute sorrow that it made Sebastian's heart stop temporarily, long enough for it to hurt and for him to begin to weep as well. Inching closer, he saw the small body of a bear cub, unmoving. The massive bear continued to pace as if she were trying to run away from what was in front of her, but too afraid to leave at the same time.
Is he?
Leave, pig! Today I'm in mourning. Approach tomorrow, and I will happily sink my teeth into your flesh, or die by your blade. It doesn't much matter anymore.
How did he... Do you mind if I ask what happened? Was it the wolves? I hear they frequent these woods still.
Wolves? Wolves? I haven't seen a wolf around here in years. This is my son's killer. This unnatural material, it is all over the lake amongst other trash. The fish get caught in it and can no longer swim. And what happens to fish that can no longer swim? Huh, pig?
Is that this horrific smell?
That is death, rising to the surface, floating to meet its maker. But this plastic weapon does not kill just fish. No. Turns out, beautiful bear cubs can get tangled in it and drown while fishing before their mother even notices.
Where did all this waste come from?
Are you so blind, pig, that you do not recognize your own hand?
But I didn't do it.
Ha! You didn't do it. Do you see that drain pipe there, just 10 yards away, delivering waste and debris directly to where we eat? We drink, we swim? Did anyone try to stop this mess before my innocent bear cub lost his life to your very apathy? I see no pigs cleaning up what they have destroyed. Certainly not you.
I'm sorry.
Your sorry is worth less than these rotting fish to me. I have told you, I am in mourning. Now I ask you again, come back tomorrow, when the time of my grief becomes the fuel for my revenge. Bring as many of your pig friends as you like. I'll be certain to kill you then.
This breaks my heart. I'm expecting a son myself, and I cannot begin to imagine the pain that you must be in right now.
Is this the condition you suggest we leave the forest in for your child? Is this waste? How you love your children within that fortress?
No, I had no idea that this was happening right now.
No. I bet your streets are as clear as the sky behind those walls. Waste doesn't exist as long as you have your extravagance. Right, pig?
What is your name? Please.
Evelyn.
And this?
Kingsley.
Evelyn, there is no excuse. I will fix this. I swear, I will find a way to make this right.
And here I was, led to believe you were the kind and patient king. My, how you have us all fooled. You were always the smart one.
Were?
Well, let's see. Instead of concentrating on building your army, like the house of lead and plastic, you learned agriculture. I get it. Pigs have to eat. Tell me, Bobo, what good is food if you can't protect your subjects before they get a chance to?
Your men are already surrounding my territory, aren't they?
Maybe I was wrong. Perhaps old age hasn't completely stripped you of all your faculties. Except when it comes to love.
I couldn't afford your type of love then, and I certainly can't now. You made the right choice with Horace. My brother was just the right combination of dumb and lazy to let you rule his territory in peace.
Your loss.
How much time do I have?
As long as it takes for me to leave this sad office and give my general a smile.
So this visit?
Is to negotiate how you will accept your territory's defeat. You can choose to fight, but let's face it, your house is surrounded, infested with farmers and scientists. There's barely a fighter amongst your sorry lot.
Option B.
Surrender now and we will kill you quick and mercifully. You are much too smart to be kept alive. Or return that Sebastian boy and my granddaughter Naomi to me peacefully. And as an act of mercy, I will merely have you exiled.
Why are you doing this? Don't you have enough? Your territory is already bigger than Clan Lead and Clan Brick combined.
Because you are weak. Always have been.
Penelope, there are so many more important issues going on than arguing over which clan is stronger. If we do not work together to stop the destruction to the environment happening outside our borders by the wolves, there will be no food to eat, place to live, or pigs left to protect. Don't you see? They are using the environment to flesh us out and completely exposed. We are no match for the wolves.
The wolves aren't cunning enough for that. Even so, what have you done to fortify your house and build your army to fight them? You stalled for time, but the acquisition of your territory is all but a foregone conclusion. Your only choice, King Bowman, is whether you want to give those kids back in order to save your own hide. Don't you always say, no one ever chooses the smart thing?
According to my calculations, collectively we have only approximately 8 months of natural resources before we are in real trouble. All of us.
So you have been spying on us, studying our resources, our armory, and yet you still allow us to take your land. Do the people in the House of Brick even know what a poor king they have? Do you not care for the well-being of any of them? Or are you just out for your own glory, huh? To prove to the township and the whole forest how clever you are, no matter how many have to die in order for you to prove it. I am done with you. Give me back my granddaughter.
No!
Look out the window, Bobo. See how far my army stretches? See what you are condemning your subjects to? I'm confident you're going to make the right decision. I'll give you 4 hours.
Sir, are we really going to let them invade us?
Any news from Sebastian?
No, Grandpa.
If the wolves are doing what I think they are doing to the environment, he is going to be the only one who is going to be able to convince the other clans that we need to work together. This Queen Penelope visit proves they will never listen to me, no matter what I say. I can't believe our entire township rests on the shoulders of a simpleton.
What was happening to Evelyn and all the animals near the east wall deeply affected Sebastian. But to save Naomi, he would have to find where the wolves were and report on the destruction they were causing. After another day of hiking, he made it to the west wall. Once he did, he witnessed the strangest thing. Amongst a barren field of cut-down trees sat a very skinny and disheveled-looking monkey, peering into an old mirror, attempting to attach a fake pig snout to his face.
Brother! Oh, you don't know how long I've been waiting for you. Wait. You are real this time, right?
This time?
Oh, snap! You are real! My name's Brooklyn. That means broken land or pretty brook. You take a look around and you pick. Come here and give your fellow brother Pig a hug.
You have been under the sun way too long if you think we're related in any way. You seem unwell. Tell me, monkey, how long since last you ate?
Oh, like real food? Like what the trees used to provide? Let's see, it's been 35 hours, 12 minutes, and this conversation. Yeah, that's the last time, bro. I still can't believe you're real. Do you want to braid each other's hair? I hear that pigs like to do that, right? I hear that we like to do that, right? I have a comb around here somewhere.
You are not a pig.
Sure I am, bro. I got my nose right here, and I'm gonna make some ears, and I'm teaching my tail to curl just like a proper pig. Soon, I'll be oinking it up with the rest of you in no time. Oh, wait, where are my manners? Hungry? I got some warm rocks you can suck on. They still have some flavor left if you suck on them real hard and have a good imagination.
Brooklyn, is it?
Yes, sir.
How do you stand this heat?
Oh, little trees, little heat. But it's all good as long as you stay busy. Can't stop us pigs with a purpose, right?
How long have you been out here?
All my life.
And your family?
Oh. You mean my foster monkey family? They had to go away when all the trees left. No shelter, no food, all sun and no fun.
After the wolves cut down these trees to build their weapons, which direction did they head?
You seen wolves, bro? I haven't seen a wolf around here since King Bowman caught one of their tails on fire. The wolf was trying to huff and puff down their chimney and go all lit up. Still, it was a long time ago when I was just a little itty bitty thing. But if you say there are wolves, then I believe you, compadre. See, when I said there were 10-foot tall pigs by the watering hole and that they were going to rule the forest, nobody believed me. And when I said that the pigs had it real good on the inside and that the town of Luxuriance is like the most righteous party spot no matter what clan you're in, well, they didn't believe me. And when I said I was supposed to stay and become a pig, oh, they left. And they did not believe me. They said I was just starved and dehydrated. But look at us now. 2 pigs wrapped in life's blanket, ready to ditch this wasteland and enter luxuriance in style. I just gotta find those ears.
So, there have been no wolves cutting down these trees?
Brother, if you need me to say there were wolves, chickens, aliens cutting down trees, then I'm your monkey. I mean pig. Just get me inside there, please. Look, all you have to do is go and talk to those monkey-brained pig guards and tell them I'm with you. My bag's all ready to go. Just don't leave me out here, okay? Just please.
How could we have done all of this?
Hey, there's a cost to being boss. I am not one of those monkeys that goes around blaming pigs for cutting down all of our sources of food and homes. Heck, even in the south, the waters are rising so high that the forest that's on that side is just one big lake now. Do I blame the pigs for flooding out my friends there? No. Old Brooklyn says that the innovation is good for us in the long run. Now, we don't want to be late. I'm sure we have a party or 4 to get to on the inside. By the way, how do I pick my clan? Do y'all have a sorting hat or something?
Wait, Brooklyn, just wait 1 second. Don't you miss your family? Aren't you upset about all of this?
Well, sure, but my foster monkey granddaddy, he used to say that if you can't beat the powerful, join the powerful. So are we joining or what?
Yep, that's it. Bedtime. Maybe I'll tell you the rest of the story tomorrow if you're good.
No, come on, Grandpa, please. Come on.
Okay, fine. But I get a big bite of each of your desserts tomorrow.
No, come on. Please, Grandpa.
Okay, here's what happened next.
Your time is up.
Sir, Queen Penelope is here.
Penelope, if you take over my territory, I hope you're wise enough not to hire a relative on your staff as a favor.
So you are conceding then?
I said no such thing.
I have no time for your games, Bowman. Hand over my granddaughter and announce to your people that the House of Plastic now rules this territory.
What if I get the House of Lead involved? I'm sure I can convince my brother Corian that it is not in his best interest to let you get too powerful.
Sir, you need to see this.
Corian has the mind of a child. Do not hide behind him. We're playing a man's game, and you just can't admit to being bested by a woman.
I have no problem with a woman getting the better of me. You can't admit that I just don't like you. And furthermore, what in the world is going on out there?
That's what I've been trying to tell you. It's that Sebastian guy. He's back, but he's not alone. He and a monkey are riding up there. But they're like elephants, lions, crocodiles, birds. Sir, he has a whole forest with him. And Grandpa, they are coming this way. Time for some action! Time for some action!
Save for some traction! Don't just stand here gawking. Stand your ground. Don't let them in.
Just what are you playing at, Mama? Is this why you were stalling?
Now I believe we were discussing who gets what territory.
Save the forest for trashers! Save the forest for trashers! Time for some action! Time for some action! Save the forest for trashers! Save the forest for trashers!
My boy, I never doubted you for a second, and I see you brought the reinforcements I asked for.
My apologies, my king. You explicitly expressed wanting only information, so me being so feeble-minded, that is all that I brought you.
Okay. Well, you arrived at the perfect time. This, Sebastian, is Queen Penelope of the House of Plastic. Perhaps you can convince her of how close our true enemies are, and we can end this silly battle over territory.
Our enemies are closer and more powerful than you think, Your Highness.
You see?
They are polluting our skies and lakes, cutting down the trees, destroying the homes and food supply of countless of animals. Many of them, like Evelyn and Brooklyn here, I have brought with me today.
For the record, I am actually a fellow pig, and I am just here for the party, but I'm ready whenever you all are to put me in a clan.
I knew you looked familiar.
Oh, and I'm not picky either. I'll just go with whoever is winning this disagreement that's going on right now.
Quiet, you. He hasn't quit yapping the whole trip here.
But that is not the worst discovery I have made on all my travels.
It gets worse.
Turns out, despite all the destruction going on out there, no matter how many animals they've hurt out in the forest, it seems they have no remorse or conscience for the harm they are causing.
Leave it to a wolf to be so heartless and think only for its own self. Here, Penelope, is the proof, the truth. Let's combine your superior force with our superior ingenuity and intellect and bring these wolves down once and for all.
You just don't get it, do you, Bowman?
Get what? It is so simple what we must do.
Grandpa, we are the wolves.
There hasn't been an actual wolf spotted around the forest for years.
It was your superior intellect and ingenuity that nearly destroyed all of the forest. That killed my son.
Amigo, I'm going to keep it real with you. One righteous pig to another. Speaking from experience, since I was raised by a foster monkey family, we pigs messed up really bad. It's real sad out there.
But it's not too late. That's what these animals are fighting for. We can't afford to ignore them anymore. We cannot run away from our responsibility to the forest. Any of us.
We are the wolves.
Just where do you think you're going, Miss Piggy? I hear you're responsible for the disposal and creation of all plastic made here. Is that correct?
What are you going to do?
Don't worry, I won't kill her. She needs to live to remember what she's done. In honor of my Kingsley, I'm gonna take her back to my lake and go for a nice little swim.
With all her soldiers outside, it might be hard to get her out of the palace.
Well, I'm no longer in mourning. I look forward to it.
I can't believe I was so blind.
As long as you see it now, these animals have traveled a long way to be here. I've gotten to know a lot of them. Come out and meet all that I have brought with me today. Listen to their stories. Many of them have great ideas on how we can help each other to rebuild the forest. I'll admit, I never cared until I heard their stories.
I am supposed to be the compassionate king, right?
That is the word in the trees. So, what's next?
Work! Lots of work! We wolves are gonna have to huff and puff and build this world back up!
It's true that George Harrison is the best Beatle, right?
Absolutely. You know Saving the Whale?
Oh yeah, are you involved?
I saved a whale. It was more intentional.
Right on.
Yeah.
He's the one who's responsible for the connection.
Good for you, man. That's amazing.
Is this what we are doing now? Lounging around in our Crocs and Birkenstocks while the earth is literally falling apart around us. How has that worked out for you so far? You! Sit up straight! And you! Put that away! What's the point of getting high if at the end of the day you have no earth to return to? But for real, and maybe some of that later. All of you, we are failing at saving this planet. I get it. I'm only 17, a kid if you will. But I, like most children my age, have a simple dream of actually being able to grow up and breathe outside without sucking in centuries full of your poor environmental decisions. And you are screwing that dream all up. Now ask yourself, will you do the work now so that a brother can perhaps breathe in some fresh oxygen in the future from time to time? Will you allow me at least to pass on just some drinkable water to my future children? Huh? Believe it or not, the blame isn't all on you hippies and hipsters who fail to convince people to pay more attention to the earth. See, what you really have here, hippies, is a marketing problem. Not an evil corporation is ruining everything problem. Not my state senator doesn't believe in global warming. Sure, those can be problematic, but what you really have here, hippies, is a marketing problem. You let the ancient Greeks typecast the earth as Mother Earth, our nature as Mother Nature. You! When's the last time you called your mother? Or cared what her diet consisted of? Just what I thought. We call the earth our mother, and what do we do to our mothers? From the day we are born to the day she can no longer offer anything, say it with me, children. Take. Exactly. We are the product of bad ancient Greek marketing. Or maybe that was just a time when people actually took care of their mothers instead of dodging their communications whenever they needed help working a damn iPhone. This is marketing 101, people. We need to make people truly care about the product. Yes, we love our mothers, we love our earth, but that doesn't stop us from slipping a 20 out her purse, or wasting water when we know we are in a drought. Doesn't stop us from driving when we know we can walk or bike, or running through tons and tons of paper. Our mothers would be so proud if they realized what we really thought of them. What do our day-to-day actions show our earth, how we think of her? Now let's flip that. What happens when a child goes hungry, missing, sick, or wanting in any way? All hands on deck while my future 5 to 12 children are pre-starving for real food and pre-suffering from the effects of global warming. So guess what, bums? All hands on deck! Put that donut down! Donuts are for closers. Tell me, how have you personally slowed down carbon emissions? Huh?
Well,
That's what I thought. You probably drove here in a Hummer. You just killed off one of my future kids, and I'll probably be breathing through a respirator at 32 due to your lack of focus. Thanks a lot, donut lady. Happy now? Hope it was worth it. What was I saying? Lost my damn train of thought messing with you. Alright, listen up, people. We don't have much time left. We are starting a new campaign, one that is going to wake people up and make them want to do something.
Oh. Oh, good.
Save baby Gaia. Save baby Gaia. People are generous when helping children. Gaia is the ultimate poster child. Let's play on that generosity and save us an Earth. Save baby Gaia.
Save baby Gaia. Save baby Gaia. Save baby Gaia. Save baby Gaia.
Alright, it's all on you now, children. Be the example. Reduce your meat intake, your carbon footprint, the amount of trash you throw out, and water and paper you use. Recycle, renew, reuse. Make it your personal responsibility to close the sale. Get the world to buy into saving a sweet, innocent child, into saving baby Gaia, and I promise you, you will have an Earth worth living in. And I will get to tell my future self there's still a chance for it to happen. Now get out of here, you crazy kids!
Yeah!
Let's do it!
Yeah! Woo! All right, man, let's go! Save the Earth! Yeah!
Hey, Ma. Went pretty well. We'll see if he'll actually follow through or just take what's happening for granted again. Meet you at the park? No, I'll just walk. Then we'll eat later. Remember, my treat. I want to take you out this time. Ima, I love you.
There are many paths to joy, but none of them come without their fair share of pain. This could be the moment you decide to be the best version of you, but that is going to take some change and perspective and humility and humor and acceptance. Let's not forget about forgiveness, gratitude, and generosity and compassion. It's going to take all of us to truly care for and about one another. Oh, I know you've heard this before, but isn't it worth it? So very worth it to hear it just one time more, and perhaps another after that, and over and over and over again, until the pillars of joy and the desire of your spirit become permanently attached. I want to live in a world like that. I want us all to live in a world like that.
And that is the end of our event. Thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't already, we invite you to experience the streaming version of our 4-part series with its auxiliary content. We hope this journey has given you the tools to access joy at any time in spite of life's inevitable suffering. And don't forget to join us next spring for the red carpet premiere of our full-length feature film, The History of Joy. If any of or all of these organizations inspired you today, please consider making a tax-deductible donation to help them stay afloat during this uncertain time. You may visit our event page for more information about the organizations that were represented here today. You may follow Vanguard Culture on social media at Vanguard Culture, at Culturally Savvy, or visit vanguardculture.org to be a part of our season. Thank you all again, and be well.